Hey everyone, welcome back to She Tried It. Today we're tier ranking my makes mainly from 2023, but this is just a continuation of my last video. If you haven't watched it, you can check it out here. In that video, it was really long and I had over 60 makes to go through because it was from the beginning of time. Today we only have about 19 makes to go through, so I hope you're excited. Before we get into ranking our makes, I want to take a look back at the old video and just kind of tell you what each of the levels are. So let's hop to that really quick. Hopping straight into the categories, we have 5 categories today. The first category is easy peasy. These are the projects that are super easy. Any beginner could do them. They take like almost no time at all. That's the easy peasy category. The next category is it's gonna take a minute. These projects are also easy, but they may take you a little bit to work on them. There's nothing hard in them at all, but they can just be time consuming. You know how like something may have a simple stitch, but it just takes you forever? That's gonna be those projects. The third category is called Keep Your Head Up, and these are just projects where you're like borderline struggling, but you're not necessarily struggling because it's hard. It's just like on the brink of, it's a little bit much. I could see these being projects where you have to contact the designer, or you may have to reach out to someone, or you might get stuck and you may need to go watch a tutorial video over and over again. Those are these projects. The next category is called Beginners Proceed with Caution. This is just a warning, you know, if you're a beginner, maybe don't start with these projects. These are the projects that you may want to have a few patterns under your belt before you hop straight into them. It does not mean that you shouldn't do them. I think all these projects are great. I've said that about everything I've ever made. I love everything I've made, but these are the projects that just be careful, maybe contact the designer, make sure you know what you're getting into before you pay for these patterns. And then the 5th category is called Experts Only. And this is just like, girl, do not try this project if you've never crocheted. You must be an expert. You must know what you're doing. With that, let's get to ranking. The first make we have is the Weekend Brunch Scarf. I don't know if you saw this video, but this scarf has been my favorite lately. With it being so cold outside, this scarf keeps me so warm. In that video, I actually taught y'all how to read a knit pattern, so it's very helpful. Definitely be sure to check it out. But for this one, it uses cable stitch. It is a thicker yarn. I believe it's Hue and Me. I'm gonna rank this one as it's gonna take a minute, just because that stitch is not complicated, but it's not just the same movement over and over. You're doing knits and pearls and pearls and knits, and I think that just kind of makes it take a minute, but it's a very beginner friendly pattern and it's a free pattern, so you can freely download the pattern and just follow along in the video for how to read the pattern. Next up, we have the Campsite Waffle Cardigan by my fave, 2 of Wands, and this one, I'm going to rank this one probably the same. It's gonna take a minute just because this one also uses the waffle stitch, and I know that that waffle stitch is very intense. This make also had pockets in it, and I don't know how, but somehow I ended up having a string in my pocket. If you haven't seen that video, you can check it out as well. I thought I knew what I was doing. Everything was going great. It wasn't until the very end, and I somehow had this long string going across my pocket. So it is gonna take a minute, and I wish I could tell you what I did wrong, but I still have no clue. Next up is the Window Pane Cocoon Knit Wrap, and this was such a fun make. This was my make along that I did with a few people. I did mine in these 2 beautiful colors, like an off-white and a brown, and I love how it turned out. The really cool thing about this make is that there's a knit version and a crochet version. For this one, I'm gonna go ahead and put it under easy peasy, which might be shocking. It definitely has some stuff that you learn in terms of like crocheting on top of knit and the little border, but the actual construction of everything is so beginner friendly, it's unreal. It's a free pattern on her website, so definitely check out that video for all the links to the pattern. Next, we have the Knit Your Perfect Ruana that I made with the Expression Fiber art yarn, and this was so fun. I didn't follow a pattern. I just kind of went and did my own thing and came up with this beautiful Ruana in this beautiful chocolate brown color, and I am gonna put this one under easy peasy. There is not much to it. It's really just a big glorified rectangle with slits, and I love how it turned out, and it's a really good layering piece if you live somewhere with cold weather. Next, we have the Bleecker Street Turtleneck. It's kind of hard to judge this one because this is a knit pattern, but I was trying to have some fun and see if I could crochet a knit pattern, and I did. So I crocheted all the body part, but I did knit the turtleneck, and I actually like how it looks with the knit and the crochet. It turned out beautifully to me. But for this one, I will say it's gonna take a minute because that yarn was actually pretty thin. Next, we have the Waffleicious Cardigan that I made by MJ's Off the Hook Designs. This is such a cute make, and I used so many skeins of yarn. I had no idea when I was actually working on it, but I am gonna put this one under it's gonna take a minute because it did fly by, but when I think about it, it did kind of take a minute. The other weird thing about this project was that I was going through projects. I think this is my third try of a make with this yarn. Everything I was trying was failing. Next, we have the Pearl Soho scarf that I made, where you can make your own scarf just following the Pearl Soho tutorials that they have on their YouTube channel. And this one, I am also gonna say it's gonna take a minute. That one used some of the thinnest yarn I've ever used in my life, and it took me so long to get through that make. I loved it and I loved how it turned out, but that yarn, I just remember unwinding the hank and I rolled it up into a ball, and it just seemed like I was making no progress for the longest time. I worked on that thing for weeks. Very similar to the next one, we have the shoulder shift dress, which I absolutely love, and same as that scarf, I used True Blue yarn, which is a bit of a thinner worsted weight yarn, or maybe I think it's actually classified as a DK weight yarn, but that one is definitely gonna take you a minute. It took me a while to get through that make, but I'm so happy that I did it because I love how it turns out, and as I always say, the drape is unmatched when it comes to True Blues. Next, we have the smile purse that I made, and this was part of a pattern book. This was such a great pattern. The only issue that I had was that there was just a picture of a smile, and that was the way that they said just basically crochet on a smiley face. I don't think that they gave literally any direction for how to actually do the smiley face. So to help y'all out, I actually made a video for how I did it. Is it perfect? Probably not, but I did my best and I showed y'all what I did so y'all could do it the same way. So this one, I'm gonna say keep your head up, because I kind of didn't like the fact that they didn't give direction for how to put the smiley face on. It's called a smile purse, and all they really show you how to do is make the purse, but not how to make the smile. Next, we have the 4/4 top. If you are unfamiliar with this video, it was quite a doozy, but I did not follow the pattern exactly really at all. It was very advanced, way more advanced than I thought it was gonna be. With that in mind, I'm gonna absolutely say experts only. I don't know how this was supposed to work. I did end up coming with something that I love that is so cute, just a little bit low cut, but other than that, I really love how it turned out. Next, we have one of my own designs, the Pack Light phone case bag. I absolutely love how this turned out. I made so many different variations, but my favorite is definitely the one that I show in the thumbnail. It's an off-white mercerized cotton crochet thread by Aunt Lydia's, and I made a chain out of wooden beads, and I just think it looks so Afrocentric, I guess is the best word I can use to describe it. But this one is absolutely gonna go under easy peasy. Very simple stitches. In that pattern, if you purchase the pattern from me, I give a whole tutorial of how to make a smaller version of it. So I think it's very detailed and it's perfect for any beginner. Next up, we have the polychrome shoulder bag, which is also my design. I love how this one turned out as well. I was really in the groove of working with yarn and beads at this time. So this one I used rainbow beads in the bag, like the front flap of the bag. This one I'm gonna put under it's gonna take a minute though, just because this is quite a bit bigger than the Pack Light phone case bag, and it uses a stitch that's quite tight. The next make we have is the black or white bucket hat. I was so proud of this pattern. It seemed like they all like this one a lot too. This is a super easy, beginner friendly bucket hat. I know a lot of people struggle with bucket hats, so this one I have to put under easy peasy. If you purchase this pattern from me, I give a whole tutorial for how to make the exact hat that I made for myself. Next, we have my design for the half wrap fall shawl. This is my very first Lion Brand kit that I made, and I was so proud of it. This one uses a very simple stitch, and it's actually the same stitch that I used in the Pack Light phone case bag. I'm kind of struggling between easy peasy and it's gonna take a minute. I won't be so easy myself, but I'll say this one, it's gonna take a minute. The structure is not just a rectangle, there's a little bit more to it. My subscribers helped me design the pattern, and I think it really turned out great. Up next, we have the Mariner's cap, and this is again by my fave, Two of Wands. This one was so professional looking. I absolutely love how it turned out. This one I'm definitely gonna say it's gonna take a minute, and the only reason I say that is because this uses ribbing, which is when you purl one and then you knit one, so you're going back and forth with your stitch, and just for me that always takes a little bit longer than if I were just knitting the whole thing or purling the whole thing. Also, I tried to make the hat just a little bit bigger, and I thought for sure I knew what I was doing about making the size bigger, and turns out at the very end I did not know what I was doing. Next up, we have the Coast to Coast beanie, and this is actually a flat knit beanie, which are kind of hard to find, and when you do find them, they don't always look super cute, so I was so happy when I stumbled up on this one. But the Coast to Coast beanie, I am absolutely gonna say Easy peasy. It is a glorified rectangle, and I added a little bit of funk to it by adding the 2 separate colors, and I love how that turned out, so I really recommend doing that. But this one is definitely very easy. You just want to make sure that the way you seam it looks nice, but other than that, you really cannot go wrong with this pattern. The next one we have is the Fearless Knit Beanie, which is the one that I came up with. This is using my Centro knitting machine, which I'm so in love with. I love how this make turned out. Very beginner friendly, minimal effort, honestly. You're just turning a crank. This one has to go under easy peasy. There was not much to it. I walk you through every step of the way. This is a free video tutorial already on my channel. You don't have to purchase anything. The next make we have is my design, and it's the Rockin' Around the Christmas Tree garland. It's a garland of Christmas trees, as you might guess, and this was perfect for the Christmas holidays, and this one was definitely easy peasy. You can choose how many you want to make, and I made tons of them because I just had tons of this yarn. This is a pattern that you can purchase for me, but I do provide a video tutorial for how to make the entire Christmas tree garland. Last but certainly not least, we have the Thick and Quick coasters, which I had a video for. I show you how to make these coasters, and I give you ideas for how to make them into a perfect gift so that they're not just a coaster, but they're actually a really thoughtful gift that you can give for any occasion. So this one, it has to go under easy peasy. It is basically a rectangle with a very simple stitch that I think looks really great as a coaster. I use my coaster every single day when I'm having my morning tea, and I just love looking at how cute it is. That's all I have today for my tier ranking. I hope you agree with me on these tier rankings. If you don't, definitely check out the video, come back to this one and be like, no girl, that was much harder than you said it was. And just let me know your thoughts. I am so excited to get started with videos for this year. I cannot wait to show you what I've been making. Make sure you stay tuned to my community tab because I'm always asking y'all for ideas. But with that, I will see you in my next video. Bye.